Did Homer ever cheat on Marge? Which women tried to lure him away? And why on earth did Marge stay married through it all? This isn't just gossip, this is Springfield's biggest marital mystery. And we're digging through the most shady interactions, scandalous smirks, belly dancers, and what happens in Vegas stays in Vegas to get to the truth. Marge stays through every idiotic stunt, broken promises, flaming disasters. You'd think this is where she packs up the kids and drives straight to a better show. She's Marge! If you've ever screamed, "Leave him, Marge!" at your screen, you're not alone, but she doesn't. Time to crack open Springfield's messiest case. Marge Simpson versus decades of chaos, temptation, betrayal, and meat-based apologies. A string of incidents that would make any other spouse run screaming into Ned Flanders' arms. If her marriage were a case file, it would take up 3 cabinets, one of them slightly on fire. Grab your popcorn and legal pad. Piece by piece, we'll drag every flaming mess into the light, starting with a woman who nearly became Marge's replacement. And that's not looking good for the defense, though. Smart, ambitious, dangerously donut-compatible Mindy wasn't just a passing crush. She was Homer's emotional twin flame. They flirted. They bonded. They practically steam-cleaned the break room with tension. And it almost happened. Homer was one vending machine cry away from changing the course of Simpsons history. If that photo of Marge hadn't fallen out of his locker, we'd be calling Mindy Mom by now. But that wasn't an isolated incident. It was the first crack in the dam, and Homer, in his own way, realized he nearly blew it. So, of course, he tried to make it up to Marge. How? By surprising her with a romantic breakfast in bed. Gummy bears, grilled cheese, and something he called egg soup, which later tried to climb out of the bowl. And no sooner is one thing over, Hom's already thinking about the next. Well, he's a real ladies' man. Lurleen Lumpkin was country music's most seductive wrecking ball. Homer didn't just manage her career. He nearly threw away his marriage for a woman who wrote lyrics like "Bunk with Me Tonight." And the worst part, he didn't even try to hide it. She kissed him, on stage, in public. Meanwhile, Marge was folding socks and questioning the meaning of fabric softener. Right when it felt like Marge was near to finally drafting the divorce papers herself, Homer went full Romeo again. He planned a surprise tropical getaway. Only, it was in Springfield, Oregon. The bed had no sheets, the minibar had one packet of ketchup, and their romantic entertainment. A half-naked accordionist named Jeff, who kept winking at Homer and played nothing but Copacabana on repeat. Marge spent most of the trip Googling, "How far can you walk before anyone reports you missing?" But if you thought Homer had maxed out his chaos potential, think again. Sylvia Winfield's niece had car trouble. Homer showed up shirtless, covered in axle grease, blasting Marvin Gaye from the garage. He offered to fix her carburetor and ended up accidentally sharing a root beer float on the hood. Marge discovered the lip gloss on the steering wheel the next day, after Homer forgot to put the car back in park and it rolled halfway into Flanders' begonias. When she asked him about it, he said it was lemon-scented armor polish, and nobody believed him, not even the car. Then there was Princess Cashmere, a scandalous so-called belly dancer. Only insiders know that the Fox censors didn't allow to reveal her true profession as a stripper. It started with a night out and ended with Homer becoming the unwilling star of every PTA meeting for the next 6 months. A photo of him mid-grind, shirt half off, expression of pure confusion, landed in Bart's hands, Principal Skinner's inbox, and eventually made it onto a novelty t-shirt at the Quick A-Mart. Homer insisted it was part of a school fundraiser called Dads Who Dance. Marge claimed it was her last straw, then moved the straw and found 6 more beneath it. Again, Homer tried to fix the situation with one of his more ambitious gestures. He installed a hot tub in the living room to surprise her, because nothing says "I'm sorry" like indoor plumbing meets chaos. The power cord went through the cat door. The tub exploded through the floor within 12 hours. The kids used the crater as a skate park. And Homer? Mr. Simpson proudly called the whole thing a solid 7 out of 10. This was, notably, his second attempt at spa-level romance. The third was banned by city ordinance. Then there's Miss Springfield. Did he cheat? Not technically, but did he drool on her shoes? Yes. Did he ask if she came with fries? Also, yes, Marge was 3 seconds from throwing him into a raffle basket. And honestly, that might have been one of the straws, what we're disclosing now. Homer declared his undying love for Candy, a waitress whose dreams of a Cirque du Soleil contract had clearly hit a Vegas-sized pothole. The Elvis impersonator officiating slurred his vows, and the whole affair was sealed with a shared plate of lukewarm shrimp cocktail, all caught on camera. And just when you think it couldn't get worse, we enter his subconscious. Homer's dreams are a war zone. One featured Marge, Mindy, a sentient donut, and a bathtub full of nacho cheese. Another had him slow dancing with himself at a wedding officiated by Barney. Somewhere in there, he kissed his own reflection and woke up shouting, "Best date ever." Desperate to fix the awkward silence that followed that confession, Homer decided Marge deserved a spa day. He filled a kiddie pool with lukewarm nacho cheese, lit 3 scented candles, all new tire fragrance, and played whale sounds from his phone. Marge dipped one toe in, said nope, and spent the rest of the evening cleaning cheese out of her cuticles and trying to forget the fact that one of the candles melted into the pool. Homer, meanwhile, shrugged and said, if anything, at least it was organic. He tries, he really does, but sometimes it's not the big stuff. Not the flirty coworker or the botched romantic gesture. Sometimes it's the daily avalanche of tiny disasters. Being married to Homer is like living in a demolition derby, except the cars are your finances, your dignity, and your last shred of patience. He once bought a cursed crusty doll, a monorail, and a gun in the same week. Marge, meanwhile, clips coupons like it's a hostage negotiation, trying to cover bearsuit debts and Moe's mysteriously recurring emotional damage fees. And it's never just about the money. Every time Marge tries to build a life for herself, Homer shows up like a wrecking ball in dad jeans, holding a donut and a bad idea. When she finally found a career in real estate, he torpedoed it so hard the market dipped 2%. He arrived late to open houses, mistook a model home for their own, and used the staging toilet. One client left a Yelp review that simply read, "There was mustard on the chandelier and a man eating floor samples." And those were the professional disasters. There are others, jobs Marge never speaks of, possibly because she's still paying for the extensive damage control. We will and can't get in every situation. Homer proves that he is the undeniable role model as an awkward husband. Maybe she stays because of the kids, maybe because she remembers who he used to be. But one thing's for sure, loving Homer Simpson isn't easy.